Blessings and welcome to the Path to Freedom. My name is Daniel Roquéo, and as always, I'm deeply grateful and honored that you're choosing to join me, that you're choosing to participate, that you are choosing to give yourself permission to move along the path of freedom, which simply means that we continuously release and let go of that which no longer serves, so that the new, the greater, the grander may emerge, so that more love, more peace, more joy, more harmony, more wholeness, abundance, creativity, bliss may well up from within us. That is what this is all about. So, if you've tuned in before, many of these recordings of these talks are about practices and about tools that we can use as we practice, tools that assists us to in expanding our consciousness, tools that allows us to raise our vibration. And today I want to bring up a particular tool that I have sort of been on and off with over the years. These last few months, I've been very much on it. And I've grown to appreciate it, and I've grown to love it in a way that I've never done before. And so I'm sensing that this tool has been put in my toolbox and it's here to stay. This is one of my priorities every single day, to lean into this tool. And the tool that I'm referring to is keeping a prayer journal. A prayer journal. Some of you may be into having a regular journal, which is where we get to explore thoughts and feelings and emotions and concepts and insights and realizations and experiences, allowing us to go deeper, allowing us to discern the stories, and thereby releasing our attachments to stories and beliefs and perceptions that we may have held near and dear for a long time. So regular journaling is a powerful tool in and of itself. But this is different. A prayer journal is not a space of exploration in the sense that we bring whatever comes up into it. But a prayer journal is a very focused and laser-like tool to treat our own minds. If you've ever heard one of the 6-step prayers that I offer, the purpose of prayer is never to get something from the world. It is never to change an external condition or external circumstance. It is not ever about asking or begging God to give us anything or for anything. But the purpose of prayer, the highest purpose of prayer, is always that we go to work within our own minds, treating our own minds to know that which is true and real, underneath appearances, underneath conditions, underneath circumstances. That's the true purpose of prayer. And so the purpose of this prayer journal is to do just that. It is the way I use it, it is a space where, or actually it's not as much as a space where I treat my mind to know what is true and real, but I do treat my mind to move into vibrational alignment with the good that I desire, how I wish to show up in the world, what I wish for my life to be about. And so the beauty with having a journal, with writing, and mine is not a journal per se, it's just a notepad, and I use just an ordinary pen. But the thing about writing, as opposed to speaking, as opposed to thinking, is that when we write, and this is about writing, not typing, about writing, using a pen, a physical pen, allowing the hands to do the movements, to do the writing. So we're not typing on a keyboard. That's something else. But the power and the beauty about writing is that as we write, and I'll go more into what it is that I'm writing, but just let me just lay out the groundwork first, the principles of writing as opposed to speaking or thinking or typing. So when we're writing, first of all, the muscles are involved in the various movements as we're spelling and as we're writing the different letters and the different words. The body, the muscles in the body are involved in the motion. So there's a muscular programming. There's a muscular programming. As we write, we read what it is that we're writing. So the eyes get to see. So there's the sensorium, the I don't know what it's called, but but there's a different level of programming as we're reading what we are writing. So I get to see what I'm writing, and as I get to see what I'm writing, and as I read what I'm writing, and I'm actually hearing what I'm writing. As I'm reading, even if I'm not reading it out aloud, I can still hear the words as I'm reading it. So the eyes are involved, the hearing senses is involved. There was something else. Well, maybe that's enough. So there are a lot of senses involved in writing as opposed to speaking out loud or thinking. That gives so much more power to these words. The treatment becomes more powerful as more levels of the human beingness, the physical beingness, is being involved into this prayer journal, into this prayer. So what is it that I'm writing? And what is it that we want to put in the journal? Well, we always, there are a couple of principles. We always want to have an affirmative tone in the journal, which means that the only thing that goes into this journal is what we wish to experience. Nothing else. Only that which we wish to experience. So in my case, I'm in a space where I'm going through a beautiful transformation. And to support that transformation and to support the momentum that is being built, I am writing a whole lot about me being of service, how I wish to be of service, what it means to me being of service. So I'm writing a whole lot about what it means to me to be a greater teacher and healer than I've ever imagined, to be an ever more powerful and an ever expanding point of healing on this planet. That's what I'm treating my mind about. So how I wish to show up in the world. And also what I wish for my life to be about. Well, obviously, I wish for my life to be about being of service, standing of service, being a humble servant of spirit. But I also want my life to be simple and peaceful and quiet. So that also goes into the journal. How I wish to show up and how I wish for my relationships to be with my family and with others. These kind of things go into the journal. That which we wish to experience. Nothing of that which we don't want to experience. That needs to stay out of the journal. This is a place for us to turn our attention toward what we wish to experience. So that's the first principle. It needs to be in the affirmative. Another principle is that it needs to be in the present tense. So as I'm writing, I'm not writing about something that I wish to happen in some future moment, but I'm writing about it as if it was here now. As if this is who I am now. As if this is what my life is about now. So I'm treating the mind, and we are treating the mind to move into the knowing that this is now. It's not something that is going to happen. It's not something that might happen. It's not a question of whether or not it's going to happen, but this is something that is, as is in the infinite mind of spirit. Every single possibility already exists in the infinite mind. So the only thing that we are doing is that we are treating our minds in this prayer journal, which is the purpose of it. We're treating our minds to know that which is in the infinite mind of spirit, and that we wish to transition into this world, into this dimension. Even if we cannot see it yet, we can still hold the idea, we can still be it in consciousness, be it in the feeling tone of our beings. We don't have to wait until we see it before we can feel it. Consciousness always precedes form. Whatever we predominantly think and feel and talk about, that is what is going to come into our manifestation by law. So we're working with the laws, but the way we're working with the laws is by treating our own minds, our own consciousness, to know that what my heart desires, it is here. It is what is now. It's done. It's done. So I lean into this a lot. And I've been talking about the moments in between before. And I use some of these moments to this journal. I have this morning routine, and it's about an hour long, and 25 minutes of this morning routine every single morning is me, and this is before anyone wakes up in the family. So it's in a space, I'm giving myself a space where I know that I will not be disturbed, when I know that no one's going to come read or look over my shoulder or anything like that. But it's a very safe, it's a very secure space. It is my space. And so I have an alarm on my phone, and it's set to go off after 25 minutes. For 25 minutes, I just keep putting into this journal what I wish to experience, what I wish to experience, how I want to show up in the world, what I want my life to be about. And there's a lot of repetition in here. There's a lot of repetition. There are some core statements that I come back to over and over and over and over again. And that is perfectly all right. This is not about stretching our imagination to come up with infinite number of ways of articulating or describing what it is that I wish to experience. But this is about us treating our minds to know. And what happens is, over a period of time, as we do this every day, for a period of time every day, these core sentences, like, I'm a greater teacher and healer than I've ever imagined. Like, I'm an ever more powerful, ever expanding point of healing on the planet. Like, I'm a humble servant of spirit. Like, I get to serve millions and millions of people around the world, assisting them in waking up, assisting them in transforming their lives. These are probably the 4 or 5 most core phrases that I'm leaning into. And what happens over a period of time is that these become so ingrained in our consciousness, in our minds, that they pop up in the middle of doing something, in the middle of cooking, in the middle of being in the bathroom, in the middle of taking a walk, in the middle of nowhere and no time. These pop up. And that's when we know, when these just pop up spontaneously, when we don't have to go look for them, that's when we know that our minds are responding beautifully to this reprogramming. Because we repeated them so many times that they have become habitual. The mind is habitual. Most of the content in our minds is habitual. It's repetitive. It's the same today as it was yesterday, as it was last week and last year. and it might be next year if we don't participate in creating the content in our minds. So this is such a powerful practice, such a powerful tool that I invite you to try out for a period of time, not just once or twice, but for everything or anything to be effective, it needs repetition. Repetition is the key to everything and anything when it comes to learning whatever it is that we want to learn, including reprogramming our mind and our subconscious mind. So that's my invitation to start or begin to cultivate the practice by having a prayer journal, as opposed maybe to a regular journal. Thank you so much for tuning in, for listening, for participating. Until the next time, I bless your day, and I bless your way. Much love, many blessings.